Here by the way, that is Abdullah, then Jackson. I remember Norbert Kobelo representing. I remember Isaiah Paulo amongst other players, but Abdullah was the main guy. Also with Innocent Sami. They did come. They did make a tour of Uganda to participate in the tournament of the police station of Uganda. That was called the End-of-Year Championship. It was won by Ibrahim. But thereafter, there were many matches between the Snipers players and the Tanzanian players. I remember Joseph Kasozi, Yuda Sentosi, Habib Sebuzi, Cesar Chandiga, so many Ugandan players against Tanzanian players for 3 Kampala. Then the Tanzanians Make sure that one is off so it doesn't consume. It's the one that is never substituted off the team. He's the one that plays the big money games, and he's probably the longest serving sniper. He's the one whose nickname is the sniper. Although others are snipers, you can clearly see his nickname behind the back. At the back of this shirt is written D Sniper, probably Da Sniper or Abdullah the Sniper, something like that. And they've been moving him around the world of late, most especially around the continent. Abdullah is one of those players now that never misses an international tournament. Just last year alone, I streamed matches involving him at QMasters in Arusha and Dar es Salaam. He played a Super 16-man comp here in Kenya. He played at the Ultimate Pool Championships in South Africa. He played at Billiards Cafe in Lusaka. Played at Queens in Bulawayo, where he's headed again next month, perhaps in June. Now he's the one that is lined up to play against Caesar. A match that if he can win, then yeah, why not call his tour a success? That is, if he can win. The odds will be against him, most especially taking on a guy that has already beaten him once, and yet it was at Abdullah's own home turf in Dar es Salaam. It will be Caesar perhaps on the verge of winning frame number 5. 2 yellows close to the bottom right will be potted to the same corner pocket bottom right. Just a little backspin now to pot another yellow, with the cue ball be bouncing off the cushion, moving it all the way upwards. Highly likely the frame is as good as gone away from Abdullah. For the guy whom just days ago played the biggest match in African history, at least in terms of the pots, against Welsh star Tom Cousins, who is world one, with Caesar now having to pot black to the corner pocket bottom left. What will be him taking the lead for the very first time in the match. Black is sunk, Caesar 3, Abdullah 2, raised to 21. And just in case you're only now joining the stream, we are back to Mchana Pub and Grill, Nairobi, Kenya. It is a professional money bout. Racing to 21 for 4,000 US dollars between Tanzania's Hussein Abdullah donning white, Uganda's Caesar Chandiga donning the black, yellow, and red, and Uganda with the big name on his t-shirt, the scorpion, a big diagram of an actual scorpion just around the front of his shirt, maybe a little bit to cause some intimidation for Dula, but Dula won't mind. He is the sniper as well. The two are racing to 21 with one set of 5 frames played that do have Caesar having a slight lead. He had to come from down from 1-0 to 1-1, from 2-1 to 2-2, now leading by 3 frames to 2. And maybe this frame gives him the opportunity to lead for the very first time in the match. The venue will be perfectly neutral for the fact that, first of all, one player is Tanzanian, another is Ugandan. They are meeting in between the two countries in the biggest city in that middle, that is Nairobi. And yes, while Dula will feel better acclimatized to Kenya, having been here now in his 3rd week, played so many money matches and then a tournament and then a team event. It is Caesar, on the other hand, who is the official home player. He's a member of the Mchana Pool fraternity. He's having a yellow to put to the corner pocket. Top left, cue ball is not natural, simply to have sight of the black. So the shot must be big, then maybe play by right spin, bouncing the ball off the red. He's having all the black to himself now. The shot looked little but too detailed. As Caesar's scores start to have some detail on them, this one is the second he's winning out of 6. It is 4 frames to 2 now. Caesar in the lead.
4 frames to 2. Starting to look a little worrying for Abdullah. Maybe beast mode is being applied by the Scorpion in the very early stages of the match. Abdullah has already demonstrated it so many times during the tour, most especially in some of those matches against Ishmael and both matches against Gente, though he lost one and won the other, that he's more than capable of winning, even coming from a trading position. Now, given Caesar's pattern, I think the red that is in the middle of the table, the yellow, will be played last. For a choice of shot, has to draw the cue ball off the right cushion, then to move it a little leftwards. The remaining yellow is portable to the corner pocket diagonally, bottom left, cue ball to be bounced off the right cushion, and then to move it leftwards to port black to the side pocket right, just like that. The frame is gone. Another apple, another frame, another lead. Caesar 5, Abdullah 2. The frame is gone. Another apple, another frame, another lead. Caesar 5. Now, Abdullah Hussein has some little history with Ugandan players. Like the 2 times he visited Uganda, he had 2 money matches against Joseph Kasozi, losing both by deciders, both by 16 frames to 15, both in Kampala. He won once and lost once against, guess who? Matovu Sula. That was in 2022 when Sula was not as rusty as he is now. He also won Joseph Kasozi against Habib, losing both by deciders, both by 16 frames to 15, both in Kampala. He won once against and lost once against the computer. But Sula did not play against 2022 when Sula was not as rusty as he is now. He also won earlier this year against 2 races, losing both by deciders, both by 16 in Dar es Salaam, losing both by deciders by 21. He won once against and lost once against the computer. But Sula did not play against 2022 in Tanzania when Sula was not as rusty as he is now. Toured Tanzania 2 years ago, earlier this year, playing against all Tanzania's better players by deciders, and he faced all of them Dar es Salaam, losing both by deciders. He won once against and lost once against the computer. And Caesar has also won a cup. But Sula did not play against 2022 Tanzania when Sula was not as rusty as he is now. Towards the Tanzania last year, earlier this year, playing against all Tanzania's better players by deciders, and he faced all of them Dar es Salaam, losing both by deciders. He won once against Mirage against Congo, and Caesar has also won the final. Now, when Sula play against Tanzania, Russia is now towards the Tanzania last year, earlier this year, playing against all Tanzania's better players by deciders, and he faced all of them Dar es Salaam, losing both by deciders. Once Chandela Mirage against Congo, and Caesar has also won the final. Now, when Sula against Tanzania, that was Tanzania earlier this year, playing against all Tanzania's players by deciders, and he faced all of them Dar es Salaam, losing both by deciders. Once Chandela Mirage against Congo, and Caesar has also won the final. Now, when Sula against Tanzania, that was the last of them all was as way back as 2022 in the All Africa Pool Championships. The Taifa Pool Stars, which had Hussein amongst them, took on the Pool Cranes, having Caesar amongst them at the OIDC in Zambia. In the preliminaries, that match was won by the Tanzanians, who topped the table that had the Ugandans in it, qualifying like that into the quarterfinals with the Ugandans in second position. Both teams made it into the quarterfinals. I think the Tanzanians won against the Kenyans. Then the Ugandans won against the Zimbabweans. In the semi-finals, the Tanzanians lost against the South Africans. The Ugandans lost against the Zambians. The two teams then faced off in the third place match, which was won by the Ugandans. That's the last time ever that the two national teams of these respective players faced off. Since then, the Tanzanian Taifa Stars have been more dominant than the Ugandans in the team events. In the last two editions of the All Africa Pool Championships, the Taifa Stars have come second to South Africa, and the Ugandans have been missing out. break in video. It is now back and running. We are playing frame number 10. It is the Ugandan Caesar that is enjoying a 3-frame lead with scores at 6 frames to 3. Of course, he will be wounded here. He's lost the last 3 big races. I don't even remember that ever happening at all. When he was preparing for the tour of the UK, he had a tournament final which was some kind of a money match, realistically speaking, against Simon the Ugandan. It was a race to 21 and that was won by Simon. And then of course, who doesn't remember what happened in Bolton, where he lost out by a very big score to the world's best in Tom Cousins. And yet just yesterday, upon return into East Africa, he lost out to the South African, that is Jeremiah Naito Ganda. This provides him a chance for redemption. Probably he may have started off as expected to make the victory, but beating Dula doesn't come with just expectation. You have to play to your best. After Abdullah taking a 2 frames to 1 lead, of course Caesar has been playing to his best, but it is just the 10th frame being played, although Caesar is winning it as well. The score by the Scorpion is now improved. It is Caesar 7 and Abdullah Hussein 3, raised to 21 for $4,000. It is an East African affair. For those of you that live very far away and you may not know the geography of these players and the country of origin, there is some kind of rivalry, a big rivalry, most especially in sporting terms. The Kenyans and the Tanzanians and the Ugandans, they all share the same borders. Kenya borders Tanzania and Uganda, Uganda borders Kenya and Tanzania. They are just the 3 countries are just joined to each other, and they share one lake in common, that is Lake Victoria. They share a lot of languages, they share a lot of cultures which are the same, they share the staple foods, they share their organization, but in sporting terms they can mean to be big rivals, not just in pool but also other sports, boxing, football, rugby, cricket, name it. So this one is yet another East African derby, this time on the pool table. It makes it even better that the venue is neutral. The spark that is missing is for Dula to regain his best form for the rest of this match to make it as difficult as it can be for Caesar to win his first long race out of the last 4, including this one. And maybe for the first time in 5 frames, Abdullah is clearing. As he puts the last yellow on the table, the cue ball may not be natural for black. He may have to play it with power and with the right spin. Draw the cue ball into the right cushion to move it back leftwards. Has to be on target. Backspin on the right and now leftwards, and the rest is a formality. Single visit of the table in the 11th frame out of 41. It is Abdullah now 4 and Caesar 7. I want to believe that the next 2 hours shall be enough for us to have this match done to completion. With now live streaming on 3 platforms, that is the YouTube streams, Peter Cherry Live from China Pool Club and Advanced Talent Agency, and the Facebook stream, that is Break and Finish Live. Feel free to watch from a platform of your preference. Here comes Abdullah. What he's trying to do, he's done once in the match so far, that is win 2 frames in succession for the second time in the match. He needs full body stretch for him to put the red that is top left of the screen. With the cue ball spun backwards. Maybe it could have been overplayed with a little too much power. He may now have to play the red, which is bottomwards of the 3. As he plays it, it has to be bounced off the right cushion, but with a lot of left spin on it, such that it bounces and moves leftwards for him to be able to put the red that is close to black to the center pocket on the right. There is with right spin. Maybe the amount of spin was lacking. Of course, the red is portable to the corner, to the center pocket right, but it has a cut on it. For him to maintain cue ball for the last red, which he may want to put to the corner pocket top left, he may have to play the red which is close to the black, actually off the black. If it goes in off the black, it remains in perfect position to put another red into well. Maybe it was something a little simplistic which he did not figure out. The black was there to support the movement of the red into the center pocket, and it would be played in a direct shot with no cut. It would leave the cue ball fairly favorable for Abdullah. Now he has a relatively difficult red to play. I think he will want to have a sharp cut on the red. Try to put it to the corner pocket top left of the screen. It's the shot he will probably want to figure out. But the cut is so sharp, he will have little control of the cue ball. Of course, white may be played into the yellow, which is left of the red. After contact with the yellow, even if he were to put the red, he will have no control of events thereafter. He will have to try out. He's contemplating. It will be a very sharp cut, and a miss could be a frame given away, most especially given the abilities of his opponent. He goes for the bank. He could get it in just slightly off. The chance is now Caesar's. The chance is the Ugandans to try and win what will be an 8th out of 13. Wanting to stop Abdullah from winning a second frame in a row for the second time in the match. After Abdullah won frames number 2 and 3, looks like Caesar will not want anything like defense. He's going for the frame and is going for it now. He needs the corner pocket where there is the red open. Maybe play yellow off red, not only to support the movement of the yellow, but also to create more space to pass yet another yellow to that same corner pocket, and play the red away from the pocket, make it difficult for Abdullah to put. There is, however, 2 yellows which are kind of difficult to put unless the positional play of the cue ball bails out Caesar, which is what he's doing now. The yellow of the 2 at the top end that is leftwards is portable to the corner pocket top left, maybe with the backspin, maybe throw the cue ball into another yellow. The backspin is in order. Another yellow to the same corner pocket. If potted, the cue ball of course will be moving all the way bottomwards where the other 2 yellows are. The bounce off to cushions. How good will the cue ball be? It is just good enough for as long as he has a ball to put. Of course, the yellow close to the cue ball to the side pocket on the right with top spin for the cue ball to follow the yellow a little bit. The last yellow on the table will be potted to the corner pocket top left with stop effect on the cue ball for white to remain in the same spot where there is the yellow, just like that. The black will be the easiest of them balls to put, but the most important, of course. The 4-frame lead is restored by the Scorpion. It is Caesar now leading by 8 frames to 4, racing to 21. There is a very little network glitch. The network glitch will come to pass, dear viewers, after flipping in between networks after the end of the ongoing frame, the 13th, which is being attacked, hopefully, by Abdullah. He has a very, very, very brave heart. He's the one player that I have seen almost outshining Ishmael in his own game, the die-hard game. When Abdullah beat Ishmael for the very first time about 3 weeks ago in Machakos at Jamlock, in a post-match interview, he said, Ishmael told me that he wants 5 races with me. I will give him the 5. And so far they've played the 5. And it is Ishmael that is in profit. Sorry, it is Abdullah that is in profit, not only in terms of number of races won, but also the pots involved in the races. The 2 that were won by Ishmael were the smaller pots. The 3 that were won by Abdullah were the bigger pots. If he can find a way of taking care of Caesar, he will even have arrived the more as a renowned shooter. One of those that can now have the trust of not just a full country of Tanzania, but pretty much a full continent. Because the guy is playing, maybe in the last 3 years, 4 or 5, may easily have won more money matches than any other player, most especially the international ones. Abdullah's record in the last year or 2, not bad either. Even before coming here into Kenya, he had just defeated Roy Tikabwe in Dar es Salaam. He has his work cut out trying to win frame number 13. Of course, red portable to the corner pocket bottom right. He may have to play the red off the yellow, because if he doesn't, he naturally gets himself snookered. If he plays red into yellow, the yellow is played upwards a little bit after bouncing off the cushion. But it's a difficult routine. Not just spotting red off yellow, that's not that difficult, but maintaining cue ball for the black when the black is played out of its current position. This is the shot, and it has to be played with backspin. Cue ball doesn't have to move, so bottomwards he has to play red off black. Red off black, and black is lifted, and the frame is winnable, and Abdullah is on the verge. He's realizing the best way of taking down Caesar is not letting him chance to participate in the playing of the frame. Like this one, frame number 13 is being won by Abdullah, by Apple. Goes for the black to the corner pocket bottom right. Black is sunk. Abdullah Hussein 5 and Caesar Chandiga 8, racing to 21. Frame Number 14, broken by Caesar and broken dry. For once, we are going to be having this long frame. Abdullah realizing, of course, he does need all of his qualities, both in terms of offense, technique, and tactic, simply to try and tame this guy from Uganda. Expectation of a money match for tomorrow should be Kelvin against Caesar. There could be some others thereafter. As for Media Africa, I will feel that it will be the time, yes, to end my own part of this tour, to go and prepare for some other events again in the same way on the pool tables back home. But it has been quite fun in Kenya. It always feels like home here, especially here at Muchana, in the company of the Muchana fraternity. Also getting to have a taste of the hospitality that the chairman JNM does have to offer. And it will be very, very memorable. It will stick with me forever. And already looking forward to the next event that will happen in this country, in this place. Of course, for tomorrow it will be Kelvin versus Caesar. Today it is Abdullah versus Caesar. Abdullah involved in a race, I think, for the 8th time ever since his advent here. He also played about 5 matches in the team event, where in the singles 64-man comp where he came third, a respectable third position after losing out in the semi-final to fellow countryman Amadeus Makidizaki. He then won the third place match against Kenya's Moses Kimani. It is now a frame of hide and seek, a frame of touch. At one time, as Caesar played, I thought he may have fouled. When the cue ball was played twice into the jaws of the corner pocket bottom right, it looked like it could have been played into the cue stick, the cue tip. Of course, the shot was legal. What can Abdullah do? Maybe he wants to play red into red. That is, play red by connection. Connect one red into the red pocket at the corner pocket top left. It seems it was what he was aiming for. Caesar having all of his expectation on the position of the black, which is frozen against both cushion and touching his own yellow. And maybe now Abdullah could want to play red, put the red that is near the corner pocket bottom right, then play the cue ball into the black or the yellow close to the black, play the black open and go for the frame once and for all. It's the shot he's trying to play. He has to pot he does, play cue ball into the yellow close to black, and both he does. He gets himself, however, snookered partially. Of the two reds he's having on the table, the one that he has full sight of is the one that is distant from the cue ball. Even the one that is packed to the corner pocket could be portable, with the cue ball being played off the cushion. But has to be very careful with this cue ball off the cushion. He moves the cue ball off yet another cushion, manipulating the cue ball so well. And as he puts the last red to the corner pocket bottom right, with the backspin, the cue ball naturally moves leftwards. Of course, where he needs it, of course, where the black is. Backspin, a leftward movement, perfect. Black to be played right against the rail, to be potted right in the corner pocket bottom left, to win another frame right, to come within 2 frames of Caesar. And yes, he does. Abdullah Hussein 6 and Caesar Chandiga 8. Eight frames to 6, dear viewers. After Caesar taking a 4-frame lead when he led by 8 frames to 4, it has been Abdullah one way at least for 2 frames, which have got him back into full business. I have to say that Abdullah's performance against Ugandan players is not that good. When he toured Uganda, he won about 4 matches against Habib, against Computer, against Dembaba, but he lost twice against Kasozi and once against Sulamatov, whom he had beaten earlier anyway. He also lost against Caesar in Dar es Salaam in 2023, and earlier this year he twice lost against Kasozi. But in this tour he has been performing a lot better than many of those defeats. But he will have to be very wary that every time a chance is given to Caesar, that chance is more than likely to be utilized for a clearance. With one thing in mind, when the frame with his current views of the table, here comes Caesar. He has 2 reds on the table. Caesar now. His intention was clearly to leave a cut between white and red for the cue ball as he cuts red into the corner pocket top left for the cue ball to move rightwards. However, I just have a feeling the cue ball and the cut is so sharp. If he were to pot, he could as well get himself snookered. Top-notch manipulation of the cue ball will be key here. It looks like it is a pot nonetheless. The manipulation of the cue ball even better. I want to think he will want to put both red and black to the same corner pocket bottom right of the screen, with the cue ball being played off the right cushion to move it all the way leftwards. Off the right. The frame is winnable for Caesar. The lead is growable. And frame number 15 is pretty much certainly in the bag for the Scorpion versus the black for the corner pocket bottom right. It is in yet again. It's now Caesar 9 and Hussein 6.
Welcome once again to the match between Caesar Chandiga and Abdullah Hussein of Tanzania. The sniper is now currently taking Caesar Chandiga second encounter, second match in the country of Kenya at Chana Baba. Tonight they have just played 15 frames. Of course, welcome to the first session. Welcome again for the in for the advanced talent. Want to thank the advanced talent they have facilitated the Scorpion. Have matches in Kenya, second one, and of course this applause goes to the management of advanced talent. Where Abdullah is playing the yellows, looks like it's bad. You listen to me. Just left on yellows have yellows. Abdullah on
there is a bit different. The song that is playing now is Alone You Life, which is not what we have. It was the previous song.
Abdullah Hussein 7 and Caesar Chandiga 9. This will now be frame number 17 to be broken by Abdullah. He's down, but only by 2 frames. Who knows what is about to happen? He aims and hits the second ball, puts 1 yellow. Cue ball so close to the cushion. Of course, the table is open, and I think he may want to go for the reds. It could very easily have been the yellows. The problem is that potting one of them is very unlikely. But again, you consider 2 reds close to each other near the center pocket left. They make the situation of winning the reds with 1 piece of the table a little tricky for It's another of the international bouts. Dear viewers, Tanzania's Abdullah Hussein down by 9 frames to 7 against Cyprus Chandiga season. This race to 21 is for the consequence of gaining or losing $4,000. Too much inflation in China. Oh no. The chance was for Abdullah to win the frame. He's just scratched. He's just given the chance to Caesar to probably take the same frame away. As a matter of reminder, our umpire, Joseph Isha. Here comes the Scorpion Deer viewers with a chance to regain the 3-frame lead. His killing techniques are never in doubt. It's just that for the last 2 months or so, I've actually never seen him in form that bad.
Tom Cousins and another against Jerry Ganda. Just yesterday, Caesar tonight looks very unforgiving. Abdullah must actually pull up his socks, must bring his A game here, Tanzania, to have a win tonight. Frame number 18 is also looking to be going the Scorpion way. Caesar Chandiga very, very serious now on table, potting to the bottom right corner pocket, cue ball in space. Yes, that's a need actually. When you look at Caesar, once he starts his pattern, just continues ruthlessly, because for him he just needs to look into the table once and he will be having his route and pattern already well calculated. Pots to the top left corner pocket now is remaining with the one yellow, which will be potting top right. That's the Scorpion with drag effect on cue ball. Now going to roll the black to the bottom right corner pocket on the horizontal stream. Dear lovely fans, it is now 11 against 7. That is Scorpion versus Abdullah Hussein of Tanzania. Uganda versus Tanzania tonight. Caesar Chandiga, the Scorpion, versus Abdullah Hussein, Abdullah, the Sniper. Racing to 21, current score 11-7. You are welcome once again here, loved viewers. The Advanced Talent Agency brings you this lovely international money match. The two players.
Listen if it is coming. Is it there? He's talking, eh?
As he started the match, he's donning a t-shirt that has the colors of the Uganda flag.
The yellow, a little trickily. He also has another red close to the yellow near the side pocket. Left, actually, those are two balls, two reds, two yellows close to each other. And rightly plays the cue ball all the way in a position where he can put either of the two reds close to two yellows to corresponding corner pockets, bottom left and top left, making light work of what was a relative very difficult frame to pot and finish. And yet he's already halfway through the journey. Given the playing speed of both of these players, maybe in 1.5 hours time we shall have a winner, we shall have a result. But it is starting to look like it could be this guy from Uganda if he continues playing the way he has, taking every opportunity he has been getting, trying to recover, of course, a match and the monies that he lost to Jerry yesterday. He will be putting black to the same corner pocket he has spotted the previous red, in what will be him winning 2 frames with 1 visit of the table with uppers respectively red and green. It is Caesar now leading by 12 frames to 7. Race to 21 for USD 4,000. And if any one of you has only been watching this match for the last 10 to 15 minutes, it is a match that has seen something, with due respect to Dola, whom I respect so much as a player and as a person, but Caesar has somewhat been too much for 5 frames in a row, and this one could be a 6th, with his lead growing even bigger. How he can manipulate the cube around, plays it into a red, avoids its excessive movement downwards, and now we'll want to put black to the same corner pocket top left where he potted the previous 2 reds. Yet again the lead of the Scorpion grows. Beast mode activated. Caesar 13 and Dola 7. After playing half the match, Dola is down. He must start winning. A 6 frame lead is quite big, most especially if the player that has that big lead is Caesar. That lead cannot be let grown to 7. Surely it can't. The table is closed by Dola. Surely, come on Dola. Surely it is finished by this one. Just that sometimes an opponent can drain down your confidence. It's just one. Was it 3? Was it 4 frames without dropping a single shot? Most especially when Dola came within 2 frames of the equalizer. Then Caesar's lead just grew to 6 without a shot being dropped. And yet Dola drops a shot somehow. Caesar will be having one relatively dead ball, the red that is in the middle of the cushion bottom, and may want to play the cue ball into that red now. Maybe avoid playing the cue ball into it, which he does. However, playing the cue ball into 2 reds close to each other in the middle of the table. The movement of the cue ball is coming through as we get close to the real business end of the match by the guy that is in the lead. For the last few frames, he's utilizing every miss by Dola, every chance given, every frame he breaks and makes a ball, but also every dry break by Dola. Those ones Caesar has been utilizing. Can the red pass into the center pocket left? He goes for the bank and fouls. Surely now, surely Dola. Hopefully he will want to play the black for the choice of the fish shot, a statement of intent that he wants to put all of them yellows to find the black in space. Maybe rightly so, play red into black, leave the red dead, play the black into space, and go for the frame and go for it now. Maybe on a better day he could have played red into the cushion, but this will do. Here comes Dola. Cue ball will bounce off the bottom cushion. It moves upwards just in between the two yellows. Could start with either. Of course, the one to the corner pocket diagonally bottom right to be played first. Maybe not, because if he plays the yellow close to the cue ball first, he as well obtains white for the second yellow, maybe to the center pocket right. Maybe play the yellow, the white into scissors red, which is close to the yellow. Maybe start with the distant yellow first. This one to be played with backspin cue ball, to be played just near the side pocket left, but off the cushion. Off the cushion, he moves it too much, but too much will be okay. As he now puts the last yellow on the blue bed to the corner pocket at the bottom, at the top left, sorry. He will play it with the backspin. Now this one is now 8 and 6, 13 and 6. Played there was the lead by the Ugandan Caesar against the Tanzanian Abdullah Hussein is now 13 frames to 8 with the same exact scores. that the opponent has, the same exact scores that the player needs to win for the victory. Caesar needing 8, Abdullah needing 13 out of the remaining 22 at the very maximum. How close will Abdullah be to winning this frame? Sometimes he has been missing balls a little bit suspiciously throughout the course of this tour. His potting range has been way too good for misses like that, most especially the one that he has just played and not potted. There was enough space for him to pass the yellow, most especially off red or off cushion and off red, because the presence of Caesar's red just made that pocket look even bigger. Now there are 4 reds of Caesar. He may want to put one, play the cue ball into another with power. He misses in the effort to play the cue ball into another. The chance comes even bigger for Abdullah to have the frame wrapped in his favor. Another one is clearly finishable. The will be problem ball of the $7 has support is the most important one anyway in the black, but maybe it can pass into the corner pocket, bottom left. Who doesn't remember the winning shot for Jerry against Eshka on the same venue, same table? Black was almost exactly where it is, and there was a red of Eshka exactly where it is. How Jerry passed it with all of the power he has. And I told him that one day he will break the balls and we will make him pay. But that was just a joke. But maybe Abdullah may have to do exactly that. You are watching a professional money bout between Caesar Chandiga, the Scorpion, on table now, leading by 13 frames to 8 against Abdullah Hussein of Tanzania. The guy donning white with a shade of blue and green and yellow and black, Tanzania's national colors. Now there is some negotiation ongoing for more action. Keep your fingers locked for what tomorrow may have to offer. Of course, there is one of the top players who are in Kenya now, that is the Ugandan Kasozi, who has played 5 matches, losing the first 3, winning the next 2. He will now want to win a third. Maybe the available opponent could be Ishmael, and there is potential of having a bout between the two tomorrow, but that is pending confirmation. And of the 3 matches Joseph has lost, the 2 were against Ishmael. Another was against Jackson Stephen, but he did have victories against Saif Hamad and Innocent Sami. He's now in much better confidence mode. Actually, when I saw him here with a cue stick, dressed like he was going to play, same applied to Saif. I was like, have you guys agreed to play match? And the answer was no, but discussions are ongoing. Caesar has this red close to the cue ball. I'm not so certain it can pass into the side pocket right, maybe corner pocket bottom right. In the corner pocket it surely can't from my camera angle because its movement is hampered by a part of the yellow. Trying to play it off the yellow, I don't think. Play safety, maybe. Play not to pot, simply to occupy the pocket. It's what he has done. It is now 22 minutes past 11 p.m. East African time. As we watch the second half of action with just about 19 frames left at the very maximum, if we are to have this go to the wire between Abdullah Hussein, the guy on table now, taking on Caesar. This race to 21 is for the consequence of 4,000 US dollars. As Abdullah plays the frame splitting shot, the shot that is likely to win him the frame to come within 4 frames of Caesar, unless something goes terribly wrong with his pattern. Otherwise, has 2 choices: either play the yellow that is closer to the cue ball by connection to the corner pocket top right where there is another yellow. Maybe play the yellow packed in the corner pocket first, which is what he's trying to do with a little power, too much precision, bouncing it off the cushion, moving it bottomwards. Now simply rolling it into the corner pocket top right, top left, sorry. Leaves natural white bouncing off 2 cushions for Dollar to pot black, of course, to the same center pocket and the left closed where it is resting anyway. The cue ball has to avoid any contact with the red, also has to be played into the cushion on the left, and then it bounces all the way rightwards. So you need left spin on the cue ball. As he plays, it is a clear left spin off the left cushion rightwards into the red, and the rest is a formality. Now, after 23 frames, perhaps 22, it is $9 and Caesar 13. Dear viewers, coming to you live from Mchana Pub and Grill right in the heart of the city of Nairobi is today's second and last money match. Tanzania's Abdullah Hussein Dula playing now, trailing by 14 frames to 10 against the Ugandan Caesar Chandiga, playing out for 4,000 US dollars with frame number 25 underway, with Caesar needing to win 6, Dula needing to win 11 of the remaining 16 frames of play. Now comes Dula. He has meant to have a very good pattern of play. He's been one of the stars of this tour ever since he arrived into Kenya. Everybody has been wanting to have a glimpse of him at the venue, and most especially online, for the fact that he demystified Ishmael's die-hard attitude. Dula has been able to take him on 5 times with 3 victories. He was also able in some kind of way to send Ginte home, and I like Ginte so much. But after that match, which ended in defeat against Dula, which was a rematch after Ginte having won the first, for whatever reason, Ginte boarded the next flight to Blantyre. He's now home and has had the bravery to take on Caesar with no condition, no head start. The first 21 takes it all, and the big fort as well. This kind of connection with that kind of power, that kind of potting accuracy, and playing the cue ball into another yellow that was touching the red. With now Caesar having 5 yellows on the table, but none of them can be portable with ease. The cue ball is so close to one of the yellows for choice of recovery. He's going for a sharp cut of the yellow at the top end of the table. Maybe he's realizing that ball is easier said than done if he's to pot it, and pot it now. And it is equally difficult to play any kind of safety. But he'll probably want to play safe. What is he trying to do? Where is the black going? I don't know whatsoever what Caesar was contemplating in mind. Maybe a yellow off another to utilize the space at the corner pocket bottom right. Dula will be having the 5 reds on the table. It is just a little tricky. If he were to finish them now, tomorrow, dear viewers, it will be Kelvin versus Caesar. She will be the last match that Caesar will be playing in this tour. It will be a little bit special if Dula will be finishing off this frame, and doing so now. As we get close to the last 10 frames, We don't have to play all of them. For as long as one of these guys gets to 21, the match ends there, and then it will be just 3 hours in which to make that kind of money. Sometimes talent can make people quite lucky. Now, for us as the Paul family, this is the kind of money we call big money. Now, you imagine the professional footballers who play in the big European leagues. The whole pot that we compete for a full year is what they obtain for playing one match in the week. That's life, eh? He needs support. He does. He has played the cable into the yellow. He will be a little into trouble here. He badly needs to recover. Maybe trying to recover. If he has sight of the yellow, the red, that is left observed two, play it off the cushion on the left, bank it into the center to the right. It will be recovered. In the same shot, if he manipulates the ball, he goes for the bank and misses the bank. Maybe he may not only be missing the bank now, he probably is giving away the frame. Maybe Cesar is winning the distance and doing so now. Maybe another backspin, this time with the right. Movement, he goes for the top swing, bounces the cable off the left cushion, moves right, for him to put black to the side of the left. The lead by the scope draws. Could be Abdullah asking for timeout. I just think so. Yes. 25 frames played. Abdullah Hussein 10, Chandiga 15, racing 21, 2 minutes time out Abdullah. When we resume the match, we should be joining Chelsea in the commentary box.
still. Yeah. The friends, I'm saying about the friends, Nigerians who were playing against each other. Yeah. Okay. I'll be back, don't worry. I'll be back. Let me just go check. Kenyans not so involved. But Kenyans have been having matches, haven't you been seeing them play of lately? Come on. Or you just don't watch pool. You just come when Caesar is playing or you just come when others. The names that you know. But Kenyans have been playing big boys. The big boys. Idio Cheng, I'll be waiting. Here we go again. Caesar to break.
A sign of victory. Okay, bro. That's a sign of victory.
He repeats it twice. I don't know what it means. I can't tell, but he has broken twice and he's putting ball and black. Yeah. You're potting. You're potting one ball. It's supposed to pot black. Caesar to break the third time in this frame. He breaks. He puts two colored yellows. It's an open table. The yellows are ish. The reds are ish. It's like maybe our manager, maybe he can finish. He had just made it open. The reds are now so much even better. I don't know if that's the shot that Caesar really wanted, because by his body movement, he's like, no, I didn't want that. But it's still Caesar. Oh no, he misses. Though he leaves his red in front of the yellow, so Dola needs to either play a combination shot for that yellow or just remove the the left spin or he's contemplating of a bank shot to put it in the right top corner pocket. That would be a beautiful shot if he gets it right. He goes for the shot, slow and smooth. Oh no, he misses. But that was going to be a very good shot. Caesar goes for snooker. Dula needs to get this right. If he doesn't get it right, it will be he will be in for trouble. Like still contemplating. Let me say hi to Powerful and Benjamin Tongo, Lucky Louis, Joshua, Matembe, Nicholas, Jonathan Andrew, Kaburuje, Roger, Aswin Abrahams, a legend of Bug. I don't know. That was a very beautiful shot from Dola. Comic Alex. Is now going for a finish. I don't think Dula would have a chance into this frame unless it goes otherwise, but I don't see it coming on his side. Season. Season. He's doing it. He's doing it right. That was a very nice drawback shot from Caesar. Wow. Dominic Motisia. I hope you're doing fine. Kenneth Mugasha. Salemwa Jonas. Thambiso Samson. Chief Estates. Nantome Victoria. Hey, girlfriend. Professor Bonaparte. Bakabulundi Ronald. Fantume. Katanga Minerals. Nicholas Bake. Duncan Chepchoni. That was a hard name. And a joke, Patrick. I hope you guys are doing fine. As Dula scratches on the break. Oh. Dula is in big trouble. Dula is in big trouble because I think he's going to be led by 7 frames after that scratch on the break. Check the break, check the yellows, check the reds. They are all good for Caesar to just go. Caesar is finishing this frame. I don't see Dula coming back. I don't see Dula having a chance to come back in this frame. I don't see it at all. It's going to be a very eloquent finish from Caesarman. Beautiful finish from Caesarman. Caesarman. He's doing it right. When Caesar is doing it right, his fans are always smiling. That's why he has a lot of fans. Yeah, and there he goes. Black is in 17-10. Oops. Someone said Yadula won't reach 15, but I think you are right. Because that was a very eloquent finish from Caesar. and it's easier to break. If he breaks it right and it's a break and finish, he will have 18 up front. Caesar breaks. Oh no, it's a dry break. Dula